That new thing? Yeah, we've got it. The Drop by GNC, bringing you all the newness that matters, handpicked by the pros who actually know what's up and what's proven to work. We keep you on top of the trends and dialed into what's next. Whether you're crushing it at the gym, leveling up your game, or thriving every day, The Drop by GNC is where the latest solutions in health and wellness land first. Non-stop innovation and fresh finds daily. Explore what's new and what's next on The Drop by GNC.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hey guys, welcome to Giggly Squad.
A place where we make fun of everything, but most importantly, ourselves.
I'm Paige DeSorbo.
I'm Hannah Berner.
Welcome to the squad.
Giggly Squad started on Summer House when we were giggling during an inappropriate time.
But of course, we can't be managed.
So we decided to start this podcast to continue giggling.
We will make fun of pop culture news,
we're watching,
fashion trends, pep talks where we give advice,
mental health moments,
and games and guests.
Listen to Giggly Squad on Acast or wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back with our coverage of And Just Like That. We're on season 3, episode 10, Better Than Sex. So we have to start with the elephant in the room or whatever it is. I don't know what to call it. Last Friday, August 1st, we learned that the show is dead. Gone. It is dead. It is dead. It is dead. The woman said it is dead, dead, dead. 3 times.
After a special 2-part series now, finale.
Yes.
Which is, I guess, the next 2 weeks. Which this really puts a damper on things.
Yes, it does.
To say the least. Very shocking.
Well, yes. I initially was very angry because I felt like you people got me back into this. And now I'm committed to this heinousness. And then you just rip the rug right out from underneath me. And I think that it's pretty obvious that they canceled the show. I don't think this was the choice of the showrunners of And Just Like That. So it's very obvious that HBO was like, no one's watching this. Everyone's ripping on it. And it costs us an arm and a leg. So we're not going to do it anymore. And then Michael Patrick King puts out this statement of, well, we feel like this is a good place to stop. It's like, stop gaslighting me. Stop telling me, like, be honest. Say, we were canceled. We didn't think we were going to get canceled. So this is going to be a little weird.
This is a good place to stop when you just started all of these new storylines.
Yes.
You know, just this very episode even, I mean, no, it's crazy. That's a lot.
You know, this isn't a good place to stop.
No, everything is up in the air. We will never find out what's going to happen to a lot of this.
Yes. So I have to read you because Vulture did this. I was reading this article in Vulture, which I thought was really good about, And Just Like That is dead. So they were going through all the things that I'll miss. Let's see. Okay, so even though the And Just Like That gals occasionally drifted so far from their original characters that they were almost unrecognizable, I enjoyed the regular check-ins with Carrie and co. Oh, wait, I'm reading the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. So this is all the things that she missed. I'll miss Carrie's hair, which is starting to hit an interesting new stride this season. Wavy, poofy, but not too poofy, casually dramatic. I'll miss Miranda being gay, finally. I'll miss Seema, who is just on the verge of her natural deodorant era. I'll miss the birth of Brady's baby. I'll miss briefly spacing out by accident and then coming to and realizing we're in the bread shop again. What will become of the bread shop in this economy? And then she goes into like talking about how in many ways, Sex and the City is so unique and special to people. Cause she says, I watched the show when I was a teenager. I watched it again in my 20s. I watched it again in my 30s. Like, and it takes on new ideas and life and all of those things. And, and each time it's this feeling of, it's become something new and different for me. I mean, right. That's what good art does, is it every time you see it, it bring, you have another aha moment. So I think for people that are fans of the show, it's really, really hard to kind of stomach, how they're just doing this to these characters. So, and one of the things she talks about how I'll miss how and Just Like That was some kind of degradation kink and never quite copped to. It was strangely obsessed with physically humiliating beloved characters over and over again. It put Aiden in that jacket. It gave Carrie vertigo while her husband had cancer that made him piss himself and stop getting hard. In this last season in particular, Miranda was on some sort of humiliation tear that made me wonder what Cynthia Nixon has done to the writers. Sleeping with a virgin nun, saying cunt on live TV, embarrassing herself at karaoke, hurling a bottle of gin down a garbage chute, watching her ex-husband devolve into spontaneous roid rage at her son, who just impregnated a stranger who then waterboarded her at a salon. But, the aha moment that I had is that, the show was always about kind of shaming and humiliating people. But what made Sex and the City different, Sex and the City, they put all the humiliation on the men they were dating. They were the weird ones. They were the odd ones. They did the bad things, the bad kinks, the this, the that, right? They were the ones. And so the characters were able to stay beloved because they didn't do these things. So it was like, now that all these women aren't dating constantly, it was almost like, who are we going to who do we need to humiliate now? Oh, okay. The main characters.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because they had to have the humiliation had to take place inside either a well-established relationship or no relationship. I mean, because we start out big dies in the first episode. So Carrie's alone, and she does try to start dating again, and she has some bad experiences. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just hard to imagine. Like, I mean, we can always watch the reruns, but
are you really going to watch the reruns of it Just Like That? I don't think I would.
I don't know. You never know. I mean, I defended in Just Like That. I mean, I felt like every season, every season, there's only been 3, but they would start out real shaky. And then, as it went on, I think the stronger episodes come later. But yeah, because when they're starting to introduce things in the beginning of the season that are just like, what? Huh? Like this person? And especially the first season where they just tried way too hard to have representation of, everybody. That was too much. But yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I will miss it. I mean, I am sad. And all the stuff online, all the memes and stuff, it's everyone like, well, I hate this show, but I'm upset that they canceled it, which is always everybody's attitude. I hate the show, but I'm watching it. I can't stop watching it.
Yes. But apparently, I guess not enough people were watching it. I mean,
no.
I think that a lot of people I think there were the diehards like us that we're going to keep going. We're going to keep watching it no matter what. But there were quite a few, and I would hear this from people that said, I watched the first season. I tried to watch the second, and then I just stopped. So, I mean, again, it depends on how big of a fan I guess maybe it doesn't really depend on how big of a fan you are. But I think they lost a lot of the viewers. And then we were listening because we were driving a couple hours yesterday together, and we were listening to the Writers Room podcast, which I hadn't listened to in a while. And then we started hearing about the extent of time and effort they put into some of the stuff that is so innocuous on the show.
Noticed it. Yeah.
Stuff that you would never notice or never care about. How much time and money is spent on it. And it's like, well, this is why you were canceled. Yeah. This is why you were canceled. You're spending too much money on crapola that we don't need.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
what?
the set design. What was it like towards the end of the show? They were talking about the set designers who spent months on trying to make something or recreate something. What was it? I can't remember what it was,
Oh,
but
God, I can't even remember what it was. It was someone's bedroom, or was it Adam's house? Adam's apartment? Maybe.
well, that was one of their projects. Yeah, like they were the ones that placed like every single piece of furniture and, decorations in there. But there was something else. But yeah, and then I'm thinking, well, that's why this show is just too extravagantly expensive, and the fashions. And I know a lot of it is borrowed and whatnot. But yeah, you got to have a lot of people tuning in to justify all those expenses. And yeah, there was a lot of stuff about it that just wasn't fun anymore. Like, no one wants to really go on Miranda's alcohol journey or, it's like Harry with I mean, I understand cancer is something that's part of people's lives and whatever, but we don't want to see people humiliated by it.
Yeah. And that was the thing, right? It was always the characters were humiliated and the men were. And that's how the show always was. And then the other person who took a lot of humiliation was Samantha. But she wrote it so well, and it was so funny and clever and interesting that I think we didn't see it that way, because she was such her character was such like, oh, I can get past this. I don't care. I have egg on my face, but whatever, I'm going to move on with it. I mean, and because Samantha has had, the fireman scene where like, get out of my pants, and she's there naked in the firehouse. I mean, all of those things, she endured a lot of that. So again, and so I feel like they don't want to give it to Carrie. It's hard with Charlotte. So let's just put it all on Miranda and, maybe Harry.
Well, if they'd had Kim Cattrall in this show, I think it would have worked, but they didn't have her. So they had to put in all of these new random characters and that just didn't work. And they finally like narrowed it down to just LTW and Seema. But even then it's like, we're just now kind of cracking open Seema just a little bit, barely.
Yeah.
And it's not going to occur by the end of, in 2 weeks or whatever. And LTW, we still don't know where that's all going. I mean, I don't think they don't have time to do an affair storyline at this point.
No.
It's too late. I don't know how they're going to wrap that up. But I think it would have survived if they'd had Kim Cattrall. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been the same dynamic, and we wouldn't have wasted all this time with all these other ancillary characters that went nowhere.
Yeah. And they introduced too many. I mean, 4 people is a lot for a half hour, 45-minute show, let's say. So then what they did is they really added 4 additional main characters. They, Che and the 3 women. And on top of that, we weren't.
Plus the co-host, podcast co-host. And
so I was going to say him, there's his life. And then there's also, oh crap, who did I forget? I just forgot who I was going to say. Sorry. But it was like
Anthony.
Anthony. Yes, that's it. And then Anthony, because we did not follow Anthony and Anthony's life that closely. Like, we saw Anthony in relationship to what Charlotte was doing. And so now Anthony's a main character and a story. So that's why it felt very chaotic, and starting a bunch of stories that they couldn't figure out how to write out. And, again, we've talked a lot about this, which is writing should be, you see where you take your characters where they go and you figure out how to paint them out of these problems. But again, here they just created problems and then stuck a character in and, tried to make it work.
Yeah, I think, and maybe they got a little bit too ambitious, because I don't think that in Sex and the City, they paid this much attention to all these details that they're now paying attention to, that no one else even picks up on. I don't think the audience is even picking up on all the symbolism and we're just watching the characters. I'm not sitting there like, pausing it and looking around the room and looking at the furniture. And, I'm really not.
I mean, I understand why they take the time and effort with the fashion.
Yeah.
Because that is absolutely, that's what
there.
People want to see that. That is what we're interested in. But yeah. And I mean, the design aesthetic, you want to see pretty places and nice design, but no, you don't need, these, I don't need to see that she's reading this book one week and a different book the next week or I know you're reading. I know you're getting through stuff.
Good for you, Carrie. Yeah.
So I had heard the news and then I watched the show after. So I was in this headspace of like, this is all going to be over.
It kind of ruins it. I know.
I know. It's hard. It's like, whoa.
I know. I watched it the day it came out. And then the next day they announced this. And I was just like, what? What is happening? Oh, well. Okay. I guess we
so
enjoy it while we can. There's two. I guess it's going to be one big finale, but cut up into 2 episodes.
But also, they've shot all of this, so
right? They've known for a long time.
They've known, but that's the thing. It's like, so I also have this. I'm also very aware of, this season's not going to be satisfactory. That's why it pissed me off when Michael Patrick King said, I'm going to give you a set. We're going to give you this is a good place to stop. It's like, no, this is all going to be in the middle of nothingness. And I know that there's always this idea when a series ends, like, should you wrap up each character? Should we see, and should the wrap up be positive, or should we be more realistic that life is complicated and all that? And personally, I come from a place of, I like things to be wrapped up and I like to see people on an upward trajectory on the way out. That's how I like to end a show.
Well, yeah.
Is that so wrong?
I wonder if this was shot before they were canceled or after.
Because this was shot before they were canceled. Because this had to have been shot a year ago plus or earlier this year.
Yeah. So it's going to be very unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be any attempt to wrap up anything.
Unless HBO came to them and said, okay, we'll give you this amount of money to reshoot some scenes if you want. But I'm sure HBO is like, God damn, we're paying so much money for these people. And that's the other thing too, is I could see them holding on to the show because it's like, is it like what do you call that? A touchstone show. It's cachet in your portfolio of shows or whatever it is. But I think that was the other problem too, is the numbers were low and it was being badmouthed so much. It was like, we're not winning it. We're not getting anything from keeping this around at all.
Yeah.
So anywho, should we start?
Let's start.
Okay. So we open up with Carrie in her apartment. We see her and she's narrating for us about the woman. The woman is moving on. She is working. She is writing. And
she has done all she could.
Yeah, she's done all she could. And she's in this writing frenzy. And we see, if you take a look around, you see that the table, the Aiden table is gone. It's now replaced by, it was now replaced by a wooden table. And I only noticed that. I noticed it because it was pointed out to us in this episode. And then I went back and watched it. I'm like, oh, it is a different table. So, but we see, so it's showing us that time has passed. I mean, to me, it feels like it's been a couple months has passed. She's been furnishing the place. She's working on the novel, and Duncan is there and he is just fawning over her work, fawning. Duncan just loves her writing.
And he's in her house this time. Yes. Normally when they work together, she goes down to his little hovel, but now he's in the big house because he's gone.
Yeah.
And he loves this book. He loves
this woman.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how little I would want to read this book. I do not want to read about some war-torn story. I don't like these period pieces anyway, so I guess it's not made for me. Yeah. But I wouldn't want to read this.
No, and I think, he wants to get in her pants. He doesn't really care about this story. And this is another thing I didn't notice, but was pointed out in the podcast, was she has for inspiration. She had a period piece dress.
Oh, I didn't even notice that the
somewhere.
second time around. I guess she did.
And she had some other things, period pieces, touchstones, to inspire her. And I'm like, you guys are painstakingly doing this and no one's even noticing.
Yeah. Well, so let's go back to this, what you're talking about, because this is one of the big major themes of this episode, which is, can men and women be friends? I mean, it kind of is. It's like, can men and women who are both attracted to that, to men and women, can you be friends? Can you have this relationship? And so this was this big thing of Carrie feeling like this is the first time a man has noticed me for my brain, that appreciates me, respects me for my mind, and, doesn't automatically go to like sexy or cute or whatever it is. And I've been thinking about this because this is the thing that I'm not disputing this. I'm not disputing that if you are an attractive woman or just a woman in general, you do always wonder why some guy is spending extra time helping you. Like you are always a little like, what's going on here? Like, and even if they know you're married, trust me, that does not stop people. But so that there was that piece of it. And I was just kind of like, would it be wrong or bad if Duncan, I think Duncan has always been attracted to her. I think that that's such a visceral part of meeting people. Don't we always get a sense of like, is this person attractive to me or not? When you meet people, no matter who they are,
absolutely,
whether they're married or not, whether you get a sense of whether or not you're attracted to someone. If there's some chemistry there at all, you can feel it. You know there's some there. So is that? And just this whole idea of her, she's so holding on to, but he respects me. And so do I want to add sex to it to ruin the relationship? And I'm like, but you guys talk your banter is flirty. Isn't this part of it? Am I crazy?
No, it is. I mean, look, even the very first time that, the first couple times they met, when he was kind of mad at her and she refused to take off her shoes, and then she tries to go, she gives him that like basket of stuff or as a peace offering, but she still won't take off her shoes. Even through all of that was like sexual tension. Like they've had it since the beginning, since day one, and he even says something to her like, what would I be reading if he were still here? And she says, I have no idea, because he obviously can sense a change in her writing or something since Aiden left. I mean, they have a connection. They have a very, very strong connection, actually. And I forget where I was going with all of this, but definitely, I don't know what's wrong with, why can't Carrie accept that someone likes her for her intelligence, but is also attracted to her at the same time? She seems to have a problem with that. Like it's not possible or something.
Yeah. And I think there's something, and it goes back to this idea of, would someone like Duncan, if we were really someone who writes historical novels for a living, 700 pages, as we hear, would that person give Carrie the time of day or respect her in any way, shape, or form?
Respect her writing.
And see the writing. And that's always been a theme in in Sex and the City, was this idea of like, I write this column that's next to the penile enlargement, like who, and just how special she felt when they wanted her to do a book. And I mean, her identity has always been as a writer, but it was much more of someone who was kind of like, pop, more of a mainstream. And historical fiction and these historical books that he's writing is so far from, I think if he did murder mysteries, I think there would be a little bit more of an overlap, I've never felt like this character, but then they have this character, Duncan, do things that I'm like, I just don't think Duncan would ever, like this writer of historical novels would not talk into a shoe. Well,
but that's the part where he's flirting with her. a different side of him. But I mean, obviously Carrie's evolved as a writer, and she reveals something that we were we were stunned by, that she has 7 bestseller books.
Yes. And we were trying to piece together the timeline of when she wrote these books and what were they about? Yes. And they were all bestsellers. So every single book you wrote was a bestseller, or did you write 10 books and 7 are bestsellers? I mean,
because the only books we're aware of are the first book, which was just a compilation of her columns.
Yes.
And then she wrote a book about Big's death. We saw her, do that. And was that the first season or second season?
No, yeah. And Just Like That.
And Just Like That. And then I don't recall any other books. I don't know when she wrote them.
So my theory is it was between all those books. So that while she married Big, got together with Big, married Big, that she kept writing, and that's when she wrote all of these books. But again, what were those books going to be about? Her reuniting with Big, like relationships, maybe about fashion and shoes, friendships. Like, what was she writing about? Like for the last, all of these best-selling novels, which
we'll never know.
We'll never know. And also, none of them are fictional, so they all had to be like, about
her life. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I'm sure it was. And I don't know. God, this book, whenever she reads these excerpts, I'm just like, oh my God.
I want to slam my head against the wall every time I heard the woman. I'm like, I hate this woman. I hate her.
She sounds like
a fucking name. And she is the worst. I can't stand her.
Yes. Okay. Right. Well, they're moving on.
We'll be back to the
next scene. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a doozy. This is a real doozy. So we see Miranda and Steve makes his first appearance this season, and Brady are all getting together in Miranda's new place. And Brady has made dinner because I guess he's a cook now.
At Scout?
Yeah, well, Scout is a bar. I thought, don't they just have like French fries and stuff?
But they do serve food at Scout. But then, see, this is what I'm confused about. There's Scout the bar that apparently there's a restaurant. But then is the place in Coney Island, is that also called Scout?
I have no idea.
Okay. So
I don't know. But that's where he's been working.
Yes.
In the kitchens and these places. So he says that he's going to quit Scout. And he's going to go to culinary school. And Miranda is just happy.
Yes. Steve's upset because he's losing an employee.
Yeah. But really secretly, he's proud
Let's
of
hope.
Brady, wants him to go to whatever. So then everything takes a real abrupt turn where he says, I have something else to tell you. And he tells them that he got a woman pregnant. And he doesn't know her last name. They just hooked up a few times. And she didn't tell him that she was pregnant. He just happened to run into her on the street near her job. And she was visibly pregnant. And he asked her about it. And she told him. And then, so Steve and Miranda are asking him all these questions. And then Steve goes apoplectic.
Yes. I don't know. And I think it was in Vulture, they were reading a review like where Steve comes in and does the worst Steve Brady impression ever. Because it did feel like an impression, like the New York accent's a little bit deeper, the Miranda, like the, I can't do accents, but like that, it felt like a little bit of a character. And really would Steve react this insanely?
Well, this
and
is
I know I know it parallels, but
yeah, I mean, granted, it happened when Steve was much older. The same thing happened to Steve. I mean, he did know Miranda better, but it's not the end of your life to get pregnant or get someone else pregnant. And, we were taught, and all of our grandparents were around this age when, they started having children. And, it's not an ideal situation, but I just felt like he shamed Brady.
Yeah.
He yelled at him and he shamed him. And even Miranda calmed down, quickly and then started asking, well, how far along is she? And so this is happening. Is she giving it up for adoption? Blah, blah, blah. Steve just went off on him.
Yeah,
To
you
the
messed up
point-
your whole life. Your life is over.
Yeah, your life is over.
And so I
Come on.
understand that Steve is extra sensitive because this feels parallel to what happened to him. But then you're you're yelling
So you're
at the
saying that's the worst thing that happened to you?
Yeah.
Is when-
So you're now yelling at your kids saying the presence of you is the worst thing that's
Right.
ever happened. And it's a
Yeah.
little bit like, well, that doesn't make sense. And that doesn't feel like something Steve would believe or think or any of that. And the other thing too is, if, I don't know, I mean, Brady could have kept this information to himself. But
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he's telling you. You don't even think about the fact that he's telling you, he's telling
Right.
you out of, because he wants to be honest with you. He doesn't want you learning of this on your own.
Remember when Miranda got pregnant, Steve was working at a bar.
Mhm.
Okay, he didn't have any money.
Yeah.
He was kind of
He had just opened the bar. He had opened the bar with Aiden.
No, that was much later. Much later. When
No, Scout had happened. Yes.
I don't
Yes.
think so.
Yes. Because remember, Carrie and Samantha and Miranda go to the Scout opening night party. And that's where Carrie sees Aiden and his glow up.
Oh. Well, that's when Miranda got pregnant?
No, she gets pregnant afterwards because a couple months later, Miranda finds out that Steve has testicular cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and he was all down on himself. So, as Samantha said, mercy fuck.
Don't tell Brady that. He can't take that. It's been
Yes.
too much. TMI.
Yes. But yeah.
Okay.
No,
Well,
and so he was a business owner. He was a business owner.
Okay. A fledgling business.
Fledgling.
My point is, Steve was not like, whatever. I just didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was very bad parenting and just very mean.
Yeah. Very mean.
So.
Very, very mean. And rightfully so. I'm going to knock you out. And Brady rightfully gets up and says, I'm leaving. And they're like, where are you going? It's like, yeah, that is the right thing to do.
That abuse.
Yeah, just get up and go. You're not having a rational conversation. He's threatening to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm all for Brady leaving. Good for you. Set that boundary, Brady.
That's right.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, then this next storyline is disturbing.
Yes. Well, but we then see Miranda patch in Charlotte and Carrie to give them the news. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
All right. You want to talk about this, Brooke? About Anthony and Giuseppe?
Okay. Well, we didn't really need to see this, but Giuseppe and Anthony are in bed,
Mhm.
going to town,
Mm-hmm.
fully naked, we see it all.
Well,
Eh.
not everything, but yeah.
Well, not everything, but as much as they can show. And so I forget. Oh, okay. So they're in bed, and then Giuseppe's roommate.
No.
Is the,
They're in bed. They're in bed. There's a knock on the door, and this is Anthony's apartment. And it's the
oh, okay. You tell this. then.
It's the fire marshal. It's one of the firefighters, and they say somebody had was trying to hang up a big flat screen TV, and they drilled a hole into the carbon monoxide, the gas line, and so everyone has to leave. And so this is sort of what gets Anthony and Giuseppe to go to Giuseppe's apartment, which we then learn they never go to Giuseppe's apartment. Giuseppe lives he has this roommate named Andrew that we meet later. But there's a whole little thing with Anthony and, and his penis and the up and down boy and all of that. And on the show, the Writer's Room podcast, my God, they spent a good 10 minutes talking about this. They love to talk about the penis prosthetics, the dick jokes, all of that.
Well, it's Michael Patrick King likes to talk about it. I mean, yeah, apparently
I was like, this isn't that interesting.
It was a prosthetic that went up and down. I don't. Yeah, I didn't need to know that. We don't even need to talk about. This is when it just becomes so clear that a gay man is behind this. This production. I mean, the things that he finds interesting sometimes are just like, you've got to be kidding. Like, know your audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
And then we go to LTW. This whole thing I thought was so strange. And I really like LTW. Of all the women they had introduced, I really liked her. I like her the most. I think she's I think she's a very good actress. And I like her character. And this one is so odd that her daughter wants her to spend time with her hamster. And so that means that she has to keep the hamster in her mom's office.
Well, this was all made up to get the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the symbolism of being on a hamster wheel, because ultimately, that's what she feels like. That she feels like she's on a hamster wheel. She's being pulled in all these different directions. So we have to figure out a way to get a hamster wheel literally on her desk.
Yes.
And it was very convoluted.
Yes, very convoluted.
And stupid. We could have done without it.
And then, we just hear her talking about how overwhelmed she is. And here's Herbert. And this is what I realized about Herbert. This is Herbert's kink. I'm going to tell you what it is. His kink is he wants to have sex with his wife right before they're going to leave the house, when they're all ready. This is the kink. We're all dressed and ready to go. We've got the keys in our hands. We're going to do it now and then be late to our thing. And then everyone will know, and then we'll secretly know. I think this is his kink.
This has happened before. Yeah.
This is Herbert's kink. This is what he wants. He wants to be late to things for sex.
Well, at least he's finally in a good mood this week.
Yeah. Oh, God.
He's not cranky anymore. Yeah, because the election's in a couple days, and Herbert's mother, who's just, a delight.
She's a goddamn nightmare.
is coming.
No one can. I mean, is anyone that one note every time?
She's awful. God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so yes. And then we go back to Giuseppe's apartment and we meet his roommate. And Anthony's suspicious of this older guy, Andrew, who Giuseppe says is asexual. And Andrew's art is he likes to make puppets and show the entertainment at Strawberry Fields. He's a puppeteer. And as we learned from the show, from the And Just Like That Writers Room podcast, guess who loves puppets? Guess who is a puppeteer at heart? Yes, Michael Patrick King.
Yes.
He says, I couldn't play with dolls as a child, so he played with puppets. And apparently they had like puppet offs. Like they got a bunch of artists to make a bunch of puppets and it's the puppet budget.
This is why the show's being
This
canceled.
is why the show was canceled. The puppet budget was too much.
It broke the bank. It sent HBO over the edge because, I'm sure these things are very expensive.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, they made one. So the puppet looks just like Giuseppe. Exactly like Giuseppe I had to stop and look for it because I didn't even notice it the first time, with the big penis, of course. Let's keep running this joke. Big package. So, and apparently they said that the actor had to go and get like his head shot, had to do a bunch of prosthetics, a bunch of stuff to make sure that it looked just like him.
Oh yeah. They did like 3D, 4D AI scans of his face. Again, ching ching, it's like the dollars just racking up. Yes. Oh my God. He talked about that puppet for like 10 minutes and his love of puppets.
Oh, yes. Yes. So
all of it.
It's puppets. Puppets brought down the Sex and the City franchise, people. Puppets. Psych Legal Pop. We'll be back after these messages.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
That new thing? Yeah, we've got it. The Drop by GNC, bringing you all the newness that matters. Handpicked by the pros who actually know what's up and what's proven to work. We keep you on top of the trends and dialed into what's next. Whether you're crushing it at the gym, leveling up your game, or thriving every day, The Drop by GNC is where the latest solutions in health and wellness land first. Non-stop innovation and fresh finds daily. Explore what's new and what's next on The Drop by GNC.
Yeah. So I think, are they having sex again? I can't remember.
No, it's like the next morning because the guy kind of like walked into their bedroom. And I think Anthony wasn't quite sure who he lived with and didn't like who his roommates were. And he's like, wait a minute, you have this very old, your roommate's like in his 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
This isn't who I expected. And of course, Anthony's always worried that Giuseppe's running off and having sex with someone else. So he's assuming that this guy, Andrew, is secretly in love with Giuseppe, which we find out he is. But
yeah, because he said Giuseppe keeps assuring him, oh, he's asexual. He's asexual. It's like, well, that's the least of your problems. But like, so then Anthony says, well, how would you like to move in with someone who is sexual? And he says, well, eventually I do, but let's take it slow. And he's like, I have to go pee. And so he gets up to go to the bathroom. And he walks past Andrew's room and his door is wide open.
Yes, that was the other thing too.
He wanted to get caught.
Okay, that's your theory. My theory is he was so overwhelmed by the puppet that he forgot to shut the door.
No, I think he wanted to get caught because this old man, he's now naked, sitting in a chair,
No,
masturbating
he was naked from the waist
puppet.
down. He's wearing a wife beater tank top. It's real hot.
Okay, well, close enough.
It's real hot.
Yeah, it's like just really disgusting. And Giuseppe sees this and he goes back and tells Anthony, maybe I will move in.
Yes. So this is how we got the two of them to move in together. Okay, great.
God, what a torturous way to get to that point. I mean, this is how you, so on your storyboard, you're like Giuseppe and Anthony are going to move in together. How do we get them there?
And Michael Patrick King's like, oh, puppets. I can finally bring the puppets. But the other thing too is, as we learned from Giuseppe's mom, Gina, the way it seemed to a bit like she was saying that she's been financially supporting Giuseppe's life in New York City, being an artist. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so I was thinking a better apartment than this. I was like, okay.
Well, he probably wants to, he's a poet and he wants to live the poet's life, which is, I'm going to live in this cheap apartment. And I'm so broke, I have to have a roommate, even though I'm really not broke. So, yeah.
Yes.
That was disturbing.
And then yet again, Charlotte, they don't know, because Charlotte's too normal or something. I don't know. Like Charlotte's got it all too together. But we get Charlotte, who is an energy healing session from Rhonda Portante. And they were so thrilled with this name, Rhonda Portante. They really broke something.
They were so proud of it.
Yeah. But she's doing all these renovations on the apartment. And we see this, she's trying to sit down and have this energy healing session. And the Rhonda won't turn her camera on and it's very disconcerting. And then all of a sudden Rock starts, because the only place that Rock can practice tap dancing for the play, Thoroughly Modern Millie, which is this going to be the ending of the show, is going to be the Thoroughly Modern.
Oh, everyone goes to the show.
Yes, goes to the show that Henry and Rock are in. Yes. So we see that Charlotte has no peace in her house. And that's she has. So then eventually we can just close this one out, probably. So she has to go to Carrie's house. That's the only quiet place. And so Rhonda, the whole time, I guess, is letting the timer run because she's only 50 minutes. We only have 50 minutes. Mm-hmm. So she gets to Carrie's house, finds a quiet room, gets on, and again, Rhonda is just being a bitch. And then Charlotte breaks down and starts crying, and she's just gone through
her husband's gone through cancer and she's just, she's like having a cathartic moment where she's letting it all out, all the stuff she's had to be so strong and whatever. And then finally Rhonda turns on her camera.
Well, I think it was that Rhonda was annoyed that she was having to do this, and that I guess in her mind, she felt like Charlotte was just some spoiled Park Avenue wife who was, because she was talking about changing the wallpaper in her house and all my kids in a play. And it wasn't until she actually told her, like, this is really who I am and what's going on in my life, that Rhonda gave her a break, which is nice. I'm glad. Get that energy healing. Okay. So then we go to Seema goes to Adam's apartment, which is very, very nice. And I guess these are real apartments in Greenwich Village that are subsidized for artists. And so his mom started living there, like 20 years earlier, something like that. And so he's got this very nice apartment in Greenwich Village. Like, it looks like the top floor with a loft and all that for $900 a month.
Well, and it's got floor to ceiling windows with a view of Manhattan.
I mean, it's gorgeous.
Stunning.
So never.
Yeah. Seema, she's like, tell me how much this is. And he doesn't want to tell her. And when he tells her it's $900 a month, she's like, you motherfucker, or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he mentions that his mother died they moved in when he was 10. His mother died of cancer when he was 20.
Mm-hmm.
And, this apartment is kind of a shrine to her because it's all of her art. She was a potter. And so there's all this pottery and weaving and stuff. And so then, of course, Seema, like, they cut to the next scene where Seema's having dinner with Carrie, and she's like, well, now I know what's wrong with Adam. He has mommy issues.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, God, Seema, dear God. Let's go back to the deodorant. I mean, really? Like, and I get it. She's been disappointed a lot. She has a lot of walls up. She's waiting for the other shoe to drop. But I work with a lot of people, and a lot of people, this is a story for many, many people. Which is, when you meet that person and it's so easy and they're so chill and you're like, this is way too easy, and you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, this is a common thing that people struggle with in relationships. But the thing about Seema is it's so harsh. It's so strong. Like, there's no vulnerability in any of it. It always just feels like it just feels angry and resentful. And so there's just something about it that makes it hard to believe it.
Well, yeah. And also, like, Adam has not shown anything that would make you think that he's codependent or, has mommy issues, whatever that means. It's like that.
He's a landscape architect, he's a landscaper. And so his mom's essence, or, he got her that plant is in the plant. That's it.
Yeah. No, she's just very, walls up.
Yes.
Walls are up.
But this is where she and Carrie are having drinks. And this is where they're talking about how, Carrie gets into this relationship with Duncan, because Seema asks, could it be more than just writing, having a writing partner? And Carrie's, and I get what Carrie's saying in this moment, which is, should it be? Because it could, if you stay where you are now, it's flirty, fun, you're writing partners. Yeah. I mean, if you start having, you sleep with them, you don't know what's going to happen. So you don't know how that's going to shift or change the relationship. So I understand her hesitance to want to start this up. And she just ended things with Aiden, all of those things. But I don't know. This is where she gets into that whole thing about, like, no one's ever seen her, that he sees her meanness, respects her thoughts.
Another thing that, we're ignoring here is that he's eventually going back to England. I didn't know it was going to be so soon, but, he's been there a while. It's been several months, and he's allegedly there 6 months out of the year to write. And so he's going to be going home soon. But that never comes up.
And that's a theory. which is, this is why Carrie's willing to entertain this, because he's going to leave.
He's not available.
He's
really,
not available.
truly.
Or this. And that's the other thing too, is really what you're saying is, are you going to have goodbye sex? Like, that's really what you're talking about. Because I don't think you can't ruin the relationship if he's leaving in a couple days.
Right.
Anyway. So then we see Miranda. She's going to meet Mia. And in typical sitcom fashion, she's not going to tell Mia who she is. She is going to scout out all of this.
Well, also,
undercover.
how did she, Brady never said the name of the salon that she worked at. He just said he ran into her on the street outside of the salon where she worked. And somehow Miranda has tracked down the salon.
No, I thought that too. And then I was like, well, you know what? She might have had a follow-up conversation with him and been like, what salon, what street? You know, I don't know. But she didn't call to find out if Mia was there that day. So
no, she's just walking in, like she's a walk-in.
Yeah.
Like that happens at a nice salon.
Walk-in.
It's not Supercuts.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and this is where they find out that Mia's not a hairdresser. She's actually a shampoo girl, but she's working on her health app. And so Mia's interesting because, you know, they made that in the writer's room, they were saying they wanted to make Mia tough. They wanted her to be strong enough to stand up to Miranda. Mm-hmm. But they also just made her kind of not very appealing.
Kind of weird. Yeah.
Kind of odd. I mean, so Miranda's asking her about the baby and what's going on. And she's like, oh, I wasn't going to keep the baby. Then I found out the baby's going to be a double Libra. So that's a vibe. And then she's, you know, she keeps asking questions about how do you know this is the father? And then Mia pieces it together that something's going on. And then Miranda tells her the truth, and then she sprays her in her face and waterboards her. Which
not literally,
but
she just sprays her in the face with the.
So, and then Miranda tries to defend her actions. She's like, I'm sorry. I just wanted to meet you. I wanted to see if we could be in your life. And what did she say? This one hurt. I felt like she's like, so that we can support this little boy or girl that you're having. And so Mia looks at her and goes, you're so binary, and stomps off. I'm like, okay, you know, us Gen Xers are struggling. Give me a break. Okay.
It's I don't know if do we want Mia in our lives?
I don't know. Mia's something. And apparently she was drinking a Red Bull. I didn't know.
Yeah,
but they kind of were making her. So that's the thing. They're kind of making her a little flaky, a little, you know, a little. She's contradicting herself and all of this. And so she's young like Brady. We're not expecting her to be completely mature about everything, but it just felt a little like, okay, this is the person you want her to. Okay, I don't know.
Well, I think they're clearly trying to make her like the complete opposite of Miranda.
Yes.
And, you know, since this show is ending, they'll never really get to
no, we don't know.
Explore that. But I'm sure when they were writing this, they thought, oh, this will be a good long-term storyline where the mother of Brady's child, and, you know, they kept calling her the baby mama on that podcast, and which is rude because
I didn't even notice that.
It's a very derogatory term, but like the child of, you know, her grandchild or the mother of her grandchild, they probably thought this would be a good ongoing storyline to have them, you know, kind of
maybe be at odds
right. Constantly. Right. But we'll never get to see that. So.
No,
we never get to see, I don't even know. We're never going to get to see this baby even being born unless they really speed things up.
Do we want to? I don't know how much of all the storylines, this was one that I wasn't sad to have to end.
Oh, you don't want to see
Brady? I don't like Brady. I like him better now, but I don't know. That first season with Brady, he was so
he was awful. But he's been nice. Like this whole he was
and he's grown up, and I like that.
He's 20 now.
which I appreciate. I feel like the writers actually got that right of like where you meet kids. Yeah, that felt like an actual real thing. But I don't know, just something about him. I don't know. Not into it.
Okay, we'll never know.
But I would like to see this, meet the double Libra and see Miranda as a grandmother. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
And that's something, and I could also see them thinking like, well, this is something new to introduce, right? They're parents, and this is very natural that maybe one of them would be a grandparent. And so what's that like? Because again, even in the world that we live in today, there are, 19, 20-year-olds having kids. It
happens all the time.
It happens. So anyway, but this is okay. This made me laugh so hard. So we're back at Carrie's house. Duncan's downstairs waiting for Carrie. Carrie is upstairs. I can't even say it. They can't continue with a writing session because she has to print out the pages out of her printer.
Yeah, this is so Gen X.
So old person. So old. I cannot, if I was any younger than I am today, the millennials out there, are you pulling your hair out? Because that must be the printer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't print as much as I used to, but I still like to print stuff out. I like to hold it. And
I do.
Because it also reminds me that it exists. Sometimes I forget that things exist when they're in a hard drive. It's like, I need to see this to remind myself.
Yes. And anyway. I too print things out. We have a printer, and I do print things out when I have to give a talk. I have to have the physical paper in front of me. Yes. But it just made me laugh so hard because they've been going back and forth working on this. It's like, have you been printing out pages this whole time?
Remember when Aiden went downstairs and they were sitting at the table and they had
they had papers. That's right.
Spread out, and they're like making notes on them and handing them back and forth. Oh yeah, these are tactile people.
Yeah. Well, and so what I thought was, but on the Writers Room podcast, there is a much younger writer who's been writing for this season. I think her name's Rachel, and she's been on the podcast a few times. And they asked her, like, where do you write? And she's like, oh, I don't have an office. I sit on my I sit on my couch. I sit on my bed. I sit over here. I do it over here. And so I was just thinking, like, what must she think about all this printer paper? Because it's just a different way of working.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So the printer's jammed.
Printer's jammed, which is
Carrie needs help.
So he goes upstairs because we now learn, like, obviously he's never been upstairs. He goes upstairs. He shows her, how do you unjam a printer? You unplug it and plug it back in. And it works. And so this is where he's able to kind of see Carrie and Carrie's her office and her closet and her dresses. And then Carrie shows him I guess it looks like she took an entire bedroom and just made it her shoe bedroom, which, okay, you got the space.
Closet. It's just like a dress closet, and then she has a shoe closet in separate rooms or something.
Yes. Yeah. So, yes. And then this is where he talks into a shoe and asks her if she would go to a publishing party with him on Tuesday. And she's very resistant, but she says yes, because he's going to pay her, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the two of them, now they're going out on a date.
Now they have a quasi date. Yes.
Yeah. And then this is when they go into this. So this is LTW. Of course, we saw this coming, right? That Gabby was then going to let the rodent was going to get free. Mm-hmm. It would had to get out of the cage. And so LTW is like, wait, what? You're looking for your hamster now? And so she just she loses it, and she gets mad, and she doesn't call Gabby stupid, but she said, I can't, how could you be so stupid? Or how could you have done something so stupid?
How could you have done something so stupid, I think.
And fusses at her. And then of course the mother-in-law sees it, and then the mother-in-law has to, knock LTW down.
Oh yeah. She loved catching her in that moment.
Yes.
But yeah, she just lost it. I mean, can you blame her? I mean,
no.
She's been burning the candle at both ends, and then there's a hamster running around her house, and then, after the mother-in-law scolds her, Herbert comes in, and again, he's nice this episode. And he's like, you're just human and it's okay. And, he's consoling her. And
which to me means he's off this diet. Because he's been way too nice.
He's eating carbs again. So
he's eating the cheese, he's eating carbs. And I like this because I thought, and this is not something that they've kind of shown too much on this show, which is every single parent has had, if not one, many moments where you lose your mind, where your kid does something that really it's not, they did it, but if you're in a good headspace, you can recognize that and be kind to them about it. But listen, I've lost my shit more than once, and it was when I became a parent that I kind of really understood the times that our parents would lose their shit. Our father never really loses his shit that much. He's very calm. I don't think I've ever even heard the man yell, but our mother has. Mm-hmm. And I got it now because you're kind of like, God damn it, just put on your shoes so we can leave the house. You get that. You understand how frustrating that is. And so I thought that was interesting that they did that and had her do that. I just kind of felt like Herbert, it felt very rushed. The story felt rushed to me because now Herbert's nice. So Herbert has to be the good guy and it's okay. And we're right? I don't know. I just feel like the Herbert we've seen the last couple episodes.
It was like
this Herbert.
Yeah. It
weird.
There was no through line there. It was like this. Okay. He's happy today. Maybe because, is this the election night or was that later?
I think that's like another night. But the other part of it too, is it doesn't move the story along in terms of like her saying, I'm the hamster on the wheel. I need help,
right.
Herbert. Right. I need help. Help me. Or, not even like I need to change something or this needs to change or anything. It's like it's almost kind of like she freaks out. You got a lot going on. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's move this story. It's
they should have tied the whole hamster wheel thing in there, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Just kind of left it hanging there. But
we're like, we'll deal with this in season 4. We'll wrap this up then.
They were probably planning for her nervous breakdown to be in season 4.
Episode 1.
Yes. Now we'll never see it. We'll just have to imagine it.
Yes.
So do you want to finish those two? I mean,
oh yeah. So the next, and I was reading someone's review of this, of like the next scene we see is the whole family getting ready to go to the election night because he's running for comptroller and they're all excited and Wexley's always win and blah, blah, blah. And then
he's up 5 points in the polls.
He's up 5 points outside the margin of error. This is a shoo-in. And the elevator closes and then the elevator door opens and he lost. And it's this whole thing about him losing. Of course, the mother is, again, awful.
She's awful.
I just don't believe anybody's this awful all the time. Like, there's got to be moments in between.
Yeah, she's basically like, I can't believe you lost. I can't believe you would enter this race if you didn't know that for sure that you could win. Well, how can you ever know for sure you're going to win anything? That's just the dumbest thing to say.
Yeah. And I thought your whole thing was like, Wexleys are strong. Wexleys can, do anything. It's like, that kind of goes against, So the other thing too, is I think that what the writers were trying to do is show this sort of circular thing of then LTW saying to Herbert, you're human. It's okay. Because he's blaming himself. And it's like, so is this supposed to be a parallel to what he was saying to her? Like, everything's okay. You're a human. You're a parent. It's like, first off, we have been hearing about this goddamn comp control election for 3 seasons now. I think this started season 1. I really do.
Yeah. So, it's been a long election.
And so you motherfuckers can't give us an election party. You can't give us anything. You can't. And so that felt like, oh crap. Herbert's running for office. Oh no. Mm-hmm. We can't possibly have him win. So how are we going to get him to lose? And it was just a lot. And again, what's their story? Like, what is the story? It's the story of this woman who is overextended and no one sees that she's drowning. Or is it about the humanness of both you? It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, it doesn't. Okay, so where are we?
Okay, this again is another one of my favorite scenes. We see the scene where Seema goes down. We knew this was going to happen. She's having a cigarette, floor to ceiling windows, lots and lots of windows in this place. She opens the window. I guess this is the only one that opens, that is right in front of Adam's mother's plant where her soul or essence is living inside of. And she lights the cigarette. I thought she was going to burn it. I thought she was going to burn the plant, but she doesn't. And I see her smoking. And then I'm sorry for those who are listening, but this is, thank God we're on YouTube now. I'm going to show you exactly what happened. Okay. So she smokes, she lights the cigarette. That's it. She thrust her body over towards the plant to knock it down. That? Nothing. It would be one thing, like have a fly or a bug come in and then you whack it down. I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but literally she was just standing there and then all of a sudden she falls over. Sorry. For those of you listening, you missed my physical comedy. This is why you need to subscribe on YouTube.
That's right. To get these
to watch me
riveting moments. Reenactments.
I'm a little sweaty. Oh, I've worked out. Okay. But yes.
Yeah. So she's mortified. And I guess then she's not returning his calls. She feels terrible. And then he shows up at her office.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm sorry, but I did watch that scene again and I'm with you now. This office, you're right. It does look like a WeWork. Yeah, there's other people randos working in there that she's not speaking to. I'm like, did those people? Because we see one desk where her assistant is. There's it's all these built-in desks and there's nothing on the walls. There's nothing. Yeah. I'm like, I think she is in a WeWork. Yeah, she's in a WeWork. And yeah. So Adam, of course, shows up and was like, why aren't you returning my calls? She's like, I killed your mother. He's like, no, cancer killed my mother. It's all good. Yeah, he salvaged, some cuttings or pieces from the plant and he replanted them and it will grow again. It's the circle of life, Yes. Yes, Seema. It's the circle of life. Adam is so sweet. I mean, I hope they don't do him dirty in the finale. Well, thank God there's only 2 episodes left. Right. Maybe they can spare poor Adam. Yeah. I bet what the dirtiest thing she could do is convince him to move out of that apartment. Trick him like Aiden and Carrie. Right. Tricks him and then he loses the $900. I don't think Adam would fall for that. Or she tries to get into that apartment. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, she has all this money now. We have no idea what it is. And I swear, I think they probably had plans to build her a beautiful office, but they were like, the puppet budget is out of control. So we have to rent this WeWork. We have to rent a WeWork for a couple days. And they're like, oh, but people are working here. Oh, just leave them in the seat. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. As long as we get that, as long as we get that designer puppet, that's all. We have to have the puppet. All right. So that's the end of Seema and him. This, I really like this scene a lot, which is Charlotte as we said, Charlotte goes over to Carrie's to get some quiet to do the Zoom session. And this is where she and Carrie are talking about Duncan. And, she tells him that Duncan is inviting her to a party and she didn't want to because of what Miranda had said about her and Duncan at the karaoke party. Mm-hmm. And Carrie's like, I got so defensive. And Charlotte, Charlotte is such a good friend. She really is. She is a good friend. And I think and this is why all the Samantha stuff always bugged me, because Samantha was a good friend. They're all good friends. There's, they have different roles. But different reasons, different reasons that they're good. But this is where Charlotte, I think, shines, because she kind of just says, fuck Miranda. Fuck Miranda. Like, you got to live your life for you. And okay, maybe... And I've seen that. I'm sure you've seen this too, where people break up and there's someone kind of lurking in the wings and maybe nothing really ever happened that you're telling us about. But, but yes, then those two people get together. This is much more common than people think it is. Because people do sometimes need something that will push them to leave someone.
Also that some months have gone by,
that too,
which Carrie says in the beginning, they're telegraphing like she's not fresh off of Aiden. Like,
yes.
It's a new season. It's a different time of year, whatever.
Aiden was summer. Duncan is autumn.
Yes, he's fall.
He's fall.
And, and Miranda has always been so judgy of Carrie.
Oh, God, yeah.
And
with all this stuff.
Miranda, as if she's perfect and never makes any mistakes. But she's very, very judgy.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too, is yes, that's always been Miranda's thing. But you would think after everything that she went through in season 1, I mean, you let someone finger you 5 feet from Carrie, when you were married. Do you know what I mean? It's like, really?
Like, who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? So there's this other part of me that thinks like Miranda would have enough sense to not go there. But anyway. So she feels, and I understand that. We've all been in those places where there's some guy that maybe you shouldn't hook up with or be with, and then your friends say something about him, and then you're like, well, I don't want to give him the satisfaction of knowing that I actually hooked up with this person. So, I'm not gonna.
Well, Miranda will never have to know. I mean,
he's going back to London.
He's going back to London. Carrie can just, keep quiet about it.
Yes. And so, and Carrie originally wears a suit to the party, but then she stops and she realizes, I'm going to wear my very special dress, my Vivienne Westwood dress. And then this was pretty spectacular. It was a gorgeous dress. And you see her, what is that, Lincoln Center? Like beautiful New York, very, very New York, Lincoln Center,
with her stilettos. And it's like nighttime, and that's all, Lincoln Center is all lit up and very cinematic.
Yes. And so we meet Imogene, who is Duncan's ex-wife / publisher. And we learn that he's behind on his book because he's been so focused on Carrie's book. So focused on Carrie's book that he has missed his own deadline. Which he has apparently never done.
He doesn't seem to really, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't seem to care that much. It's like, oh, well, I missed my deadline.
For the guy who is like, I'm in New York and I need to work and you need to shh. Now it's a little bit like, I'll do it back in London.
Yeah, he's changed a lot, since we first met him. Now he's just easy breezy, It's like talking into shoes like it's a telephone.
Yes, I told you. I didn't believe that he would do that.
Yeah.
It's really, and again, if we're supposed to believe this is 6 months later, it really is a huge transformation of a person. And he does make this joke about the fact that he's always inside, always working, so he would still be in this very heavy duty writing place. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, so then they come home, they walk home, I guess. And, they're kind of lingering at the door, or it's like a gate. It's like not where we normally see them.
That's the front of the house.
It's the front of the house. There's like a gate, like Carrie goes up, he goes down through the gate. And he says, first he says, I think you're wonderful. And then Carrie says, I think you're wonderful as well. And then he says, do you want to come downstairs? And she says, no. And then she takes a few steps away, and then in this dramatic fashion, turns around, runs up to him. They embrace, they kiss, and then we see them in bed together.
Yes.
Post sex.
And then Duncan is urging her not to kill off the woman. He sees this as a series.
Well, yeah, because he says, what will happen to this woman or the woman?
The woman.
And Carrie says, oh, she'll probably die of loneliness. And then he's like, oh, no, you gotta keep the woman. Yeah. I mean, it feels like, what is this going to be, like the Little House on the Prairie series?
I don't know.
Where we just keep going, like
I don't know.
Books and books and books about the woman.
Oh, God. Now she's a fiction writer. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I had to read. Oh, well, I'll read this at the end, but we can talk about
it's pretty much it. This is pretty much nothing else. I mean, we see they kind of fade out of this, and then we know he leaves, and we see a scene of Carrie in the back garden staring at the autumn leaves, thinking about her time with Duncan.
Well, yeah, and there's yet another voiceover. Okay, so this time usually they just do one voiceover for the woman. This one we got one in the beginning and one in the end. And so she ends with, "The woman sat in her garden, even though summer had come and now gone. She could feel the lingering touch on her face and body. How wonderful, how wonderful, how wonderful."
Oh, good.
Wow. God. Okay,
Yes,
next time.
We spent an hour and 15 minutes talking about the show, or hour and 10.
Mm-hmm.
We rip it out, but now we're disappointed.
Now we're upset that it was canceled.
Yes. But I waited to see the scenes for next week, and I couldn't see it. They didn't show up on my thing.
Oh, you have to go past the credits.
I did.
Oh,
but
okay.
you know what? Are you watching it on the HBO Max app?
Yeah.
Okay, so something's wrong with our HBO, and so I've been watching it on Hulu. Maybe Hulu.
Oh,
Maybe it's a Hulu
why.
thing. Okay.
Okay, so next time, Carrie's finished her book.
Oh, good.
And she takes it all the papers. She's gotten one of those big black binder clips, and she has clipped all the papers together. She's printed it out. She did not send a PDF to her publisher.
No. You know which ink she probably is using printing all those pages out?
She spent thousands of dollars on ink for this book. So she's in her publisher's office, and the publisher loves it, but she has some little issue with it, which we'll find out, whatever that is. So it's Thanksgiving time, and Miranda is having Thanksgiving at her house, and she's invited the mother of Brady's child without telling him.
Oh, dear God. Miranda?
I mean, first of all, why in the world would that woman come to Miranda's house? I don't know how she got her to come. And then she's going to spring this on Brady. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Herbert feels like he's failed his family. And Adam invites Seema to Thanksgiving at his sister's house.
And what's the excuse that Seema is going to make for not wanting to go?
I don't know. She better go.
Yeah, she'll go.
She'll go, but
she'll be mad about it or upset or feel like it's the end, something's going to go wrong, and she'll go and it'll all be great.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully she'll go and she'll see that, he has this nice relationship with his sister. He does not have mommy issues, and that she would be a fool to let this nice guy go. If she doesn't want to date him, I'll date him.
Yeah. He's cute.
I like
He's
him.
growing on me.
Yeah. I like him a lot.
And yeah. And that's that.
And that's that. And just like that.
And just like that, the episode is over. And just like that, yet again, we talked about we should probably talk about our Patreon in the beginning of the episode,
God,
a quick
what is
plug.
wrong with us?
We talked about that. We've now recorded 2 episodes and forgotten both times. And it's not until we get to this point that I realize it. Like, oh, crap.
You need to put we need to get a Post-it note and put it up on the wall in front of the computer, because my God.
I cannot remember anything. I can remember Sex in the City scenes like it's no tomorrow.
You can remember when, what Steve was doing when Miranda got pregnant.
Yes, but I cannot remember.
But
no.
I can't remember this.
So,
anyway.
Yes. So if you enjoy us and enjoy this recap podcast, then please go check us out on Patreon. We have a couple different tiers. You get all the shows ad-free. We do a monthly true crime. We just did a whole breakdown of Ghislaine. Ghislaine Maxwell. So there's been so much talk about Jeffrey Epstein these days. We were like, let's focus on her and her role in all of this. So that is a Patreon exclusive. We do an Ask Us Anything, where you can ask us legal questions or psychological questions or questions about us or about pop culture or something else you want us to talk about. So there's lots of good stuff over there. So go check it out. There's other ways to support us. You can leave us a 5-star rating and review. You can subscribe to the podcast. You can follow us on social media. You can come over and subscribe on YouTube. All good stuff. And yeah.
And this week on our Thursday show, we're covering what I think was a very interesting documentary. It's called Trophy Wife: Murder on Safari.
Yes.
And I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, but I really liked it. So,
good.
You can tune in on Thursday.
Yes. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it.
So.
Thank you so much for tuning in. It's an hour and 15 minutes later. Is that enough? Well, anyway, I was going to make a joke about puppets, but I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
We gotta go. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
That new thing? Yeah, we've got it. The Drop by GNC, bringing you all the newness that matters, handpicked by the pros who actually know what's up and what's proven to work. We keep you on top of the trends and dialed into what's next. Whether you're crushing it at the gym, leveling up your game, or thriving every day, The Drop by GNC is where the latest solutions in health and wellness land first. Non-stop innovation and fresh finds daily. Explore what's new and what's next on The Drop by GNC.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
This season on The Dream.
Supplies are being provided by nurses who run out in the middle of the night and purchase diapers, but a hospital is still charging as if they still have these items.
We are digging into every topic we've ever wanted to cover on this show.
It's a spinning plate analogy. The second that you stop spinning those plates, that crashes. So you can never stop working.
The Dream Season 4 comes at you weekly starting Monday, January 20th.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.